Hey, what's up, homies? I was just doing some training this morning and I actually made a really cool discovery. I just spent a lot of time just getting into the Zen mode, trying to discover all the best techniques for striking when I'm at this thing. And I found a real gem today, and I can't risk forgetting it, though I don't think I could. So I want to put it out there, but also for you guys, so you can learn some pretty nasty moves, let me say. All right, well, what do you do for it? It's hooks. Left and right hooks, lead hook, rear hook, doesn't really matter. Kind of the purpose of this is that you can switch it freely. It's a bit of advanced footwork, but it's not really that advanced, you know? So let's just say we're gonna take it from totally standing, you know? If you wind up, these are our hooks. Pretty good power, right? However, you don't have the time always to wind up. And it's a huge telegraph, like, oh, I better watch out, this guy's about to murder my whole head. And you're right, so. What mastery of striking really comes down to is the effort to force ratio. You want to put in as little work as you have to and get the most result. It's a matter of fluidity and a good connection to your body that just comes with practice. Now, how can we get that level of ridiculous power without doing this huge windup? Well, it might seem obvious to you if you're a smart noodle, but let me go through it anyway. Most of the time in a fight, you're not actually going to be standing totally still, just throwing punches. There is always movement involved, and that's very good. That's the one thing that the punching bag doesn't really illustrate, is that you will be in perpetual motion whenever you're throwing strikes. That being said, I do recommend you stand still to master your technique first. Now I'm going to build off of what I just said. From standing still, let me teach you how to get maximum power. This is going to be for hooks only, but maybe there's more ways you can apply this to other punches as well. First, basic footwork. I hope you can see my feet. Actually, I'm going to tilt it down just to make sure you can. It's probably more important than even my head, honestly. Plus, I figured the GoPro can see everything still. Alright, so in fighting, what we say is you want to pretend there's a string attaching your left limbs and your right limbs. More important than that, though, whenever you want to go in any direction, you step with the closest foot. If you want to go forward, it's the forward foot. If you want to go backward, it's the back foot. Left, right, and so on. This way, you're always balanced. So I recommend you actually just run through every strike, going through these simple motions. Forward, sideways, backwards. Fight in every direction. Now, once you do that, well, practicing this is what led me to this discovery, which finally, with all this prologuing, I can get into. So, it's about left and right steps and which hook you're going to use. What I find is, for ridiculous power, this is the thumbnail's purpose, the title is video's purpose. When you step to one side, the opposite side hook is loaded. I said it like a surfer stoner because like the intensity level is so crazy that it just resets my brain. Like, hilarious metaphors aside, what I mean to say is when you step to the right, your left hook, in this instance the lead hook, is super strong. I did it again, you see what I mean? I guess you'll have to see for yourself. And the same is true for the opposite. Rear hook, right hand, when I step left, it opens it up. Can you see what my hips are doing when I do that, right? The key to good hooks is how you use your hips. This is the torquing motion for your hips, right? Now when you add a step to that, it kind of like, it gets it moving, gets it so much power. So now I'm gonna show you what I mean. So I'm just gonna go right step, lead hook, left step, rear hook. Just back and forth motion. It's that fast, that easy. switch sides. Or actually, before I switch sides, I'm gonna do it in reverse order. Now, instead of stepping right for the left hook and left for the rear, right hook, I'm gonna step left for my left hook and then right for my right hook. So now you're going in the same direction as the strike, actually. It's the step first with your left and then the rotation as you hit. This is essential intermediate footwork, I'd say. Like, learning this stuff is the key to really getting your opponent off angle, and that is the best way to open up their defenses. So it's step, rotate, once more. Same thing on the other side. Step out, that loads it up, just send it back to the middle. Switching sides now. So as you can see now, throwing two opposing hooks is a lethal weapon. And I can see that more clearly now than ever. Makes me like stuck on what the title of this video should be. The secret to murder power, or you know, footwork with hooks, who knows, but you kind of see what I'm getting at here, you know? It's like your opponent has no choice but to be out of the way if they want to survive, you know, because I assume there's not too many of those that you'd want to take. Even if your glove is in the way, it might still rattle you. So once more, just throw hooks as you step away. If you're stepping away, throw with the front hand. It's like a fade out hook. And if you're stepping inside, then you can, that opens you up for a big power shot with your right hand, as you can see. Or you can rotate for the left. You know what, I'm gonna call this video hook footwork. I'm just gonna go through some more of that real quick, just for everyone's sake while I'm still here in this video. You saw the big headlines. Now let's get into some basics, honestly. Intermediate basics, I'd say. Let's just talk about what happens when you take that step. As you just saw, I'm going to repeat exactly what I said the last 30 seconds. When you step, then so many different angles of attack are open. Naturally, this hand is in the perfect position and with the perfect physics, elasticity. Like, this loads the power and really makes it the logical choice to smack him with this one. Same thing applies if you want to step away. The left hook is open. Stepping away, the left hook is the same exact principle, mirrored. Step away, here. Cool. Now for southpaw, let me just run through that again. If you're gonna step away, right hook, your lead hook. If you're gonna step open, then boom, big power shot here. Open, anywhere. Now, that's what we're going to call open strikes. You can also close strikes, or as we're just going to call it, shifting or rotating. These are just different ways that you can think of what the energy is doing to it. So now, when we step here, instead of hitting with this one, we're actually going to use this to turn. Now this does two things. One, we're actually loaded with this hand, the front hand, instead of this hand now. But we've also created an angle, as you can see. Imagine your opponent's hands are up in front here. He's blocking my jabs. Maybe I can go to the body here, get him to move around. But honestly, he might be able to catch a left hook still, or you could probably still hit him with a left hook, but his hands are still there near the front of his face. And actually, that might be where his forearms would be. Exactly. So So how do you do that? How do you get around his guard? With footwork. That's essential. So, like I said, you step, all this is open, it's a threat. Or, when you step, you can turn around, and now you've actually landed a punch already, stuck in his guard, right? And now, not only is he one punch behind, but now you don't even have to be there anymore. Of course, only your own skill level, I'd say, is the limiting factor here, but there's nothing that stops you from throwing both hooks, actually. That's actually not a bad idea. As you do the open step, hit him in the body. That'll be down here. And then finish the rotation up top. So that'll be hitting him here and then here. Complete opposite diagonals. And then, of course, using what we practiced earlier, you can actually just flip the target spots. What I mean to say here, in the big grand scheme of this video, is that lateral movement is how you achieve ridiculous power, because it opens you up to mechanically throw the best hook you can. All right, I spent a lot of time talking here, but this was a good one, and I'm gonna get back to working out now. So thank you for stopping in. Get wrecking these fools.